What is up, you guys? Welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back, you guys. So, as you guys
know, because we've actually been talking about it in our videos before, that we had a really important video that we wanted to film, and today is the day, with a little bit of background noise because we have our plebes.
Yeah.
But you guys, it's here, and we're really excited to let you guys know about our big news. Just because we, again, you guys know, we're regular people, we're not perfect, and this is real life. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump right in.
And then I'm sure, as you guys may read the title of the video.
Yeah, you guys will probably know what we're talking about already.
But we finally, I'm shaking the table and I'm a little nervous even talking about this. But we're finally, we are done, and I am finally a resident.
Woo!
So we made it through, you guys. Legit, this was so long. The process was so long for me, April,
His
my
family,
her family. It's just been so long. And we're just so this video is pretty much gonna be I don't want to technically say raise awareness, because I'm not going to give you guys
not the political aspect of it. I mean, we'll give you guys our thoughts on some.
We're just going to give you guys the whole us behind, because it was about us. Right.
So we're just going to fill you guys in on our
experience
with the situation. And the situation, obviously, about Bernardo being undocumented.
Right.
So he's gonna go ahead and just.
So we wrote, so pretty much I wrote down some questions and what we thought were very
important topics to discuss.
Right. So I'm gonna jump right in. So pretty much the first one is, why are we doing this? Like I said, pretty much what we're doing is we just want to give you guys more of I don't know, that way you guys, because I'm sure everyone that's watching this, I'm pretty sure you guys were well aware that
a lot of our close friends and family knew about the situation, but it was definitely not something that we would just hey, my name is blah blah blah, my husband is an immigrant.
Right. And then again, just to kind of open up with you guys a little more, this is something that me, April, we really kept it, very private, just because, when you're going through that process, you really don't know what to expect, so we obviously didn't want to say something and then at the end of the day, it's
it not happen. Because with immigration, you guys, it is very, very, very unpredictable. I think the most frustrating part was that people would always ask us, why is it taking forever? And we'll touch on that too, but you guys, every single situation is so different. So it's never gonna be the same, your tia Juana and your tío Pancho and Bernardo over here, it's not the same. It's not the same situation. And we'll talk about, some of the struggles that we had and stuff throughout the video. But we just wanna let you guys know about the situation that we went through.
Yeah, and again, it's just to share our experience, and I'm sure I'm not the only one out there that's going through the process. So this might even be more of a educational, to give you kind of a heads up, I'm going through that process right now. What do I need to know? So I'm just gonna throw out little details that we really think were very important, and little experiences throughout our life that really changed our life.
Okay, yeah.
So
Bernardo likes to talk a lot, so.
Alright, so why do we doing this? We just answered that. Okay, so next question. How old was I when I came to the United States? So when I first came to the United States, I was about, and this is a guesstimate. This is a guesstimate, yeah. So I had to be roughly about two.
He was months old.
Yeah, it was definitely less than 6 months.
It was
definitely less than 6 months. And again, we don't know this. I asked my mom, my lawyer would ask my mom, like, you know, and she would always say, you know, it
No
was
sé,
in
no
the
sé.
1992, like, no sé exactamente, which we get it, you know, the lawyer got it. She was like, you know what, we're just gonna put the year because
We know, and that's what
obviously
they
that's
do,
so
yeah.
long ago, you know, so
He's 20, you're gonna be 27.
yeah, so it's been, you know, obviously.
So it's normal, you
27
know,
years.
and I guess what they do in those circumstances is they put 01 and the year that you think you came in.
Right.
Because, you know, we're not the only people that are unaware. He was a child, baby,
Yeah.
a toddler, you know, so that's when he came in.
So that's when I came in. Where am I from? So I'm from Ahome, Los Mochis, Sinaloa. So that's where I'm from. That's where all my family's at. Well, you know, my mom's side. And well, my dad's side is more of like in a little ranchito in
Yeah.
Sinaloa.
So if you guys are from Sinaloa or have family members that live in Sinaloa, there's a lot of little ranchitos and pueblitos that are like Chacalaca or something, like Tabelojeca and Tabampito or whatever.
Tapito,
Yeah,
like,
like
we legit,
really-
like, I agree on that, like, we legit, and I'm sure this is not just Sinaloa, like, I'm sure there's, like, a bunch of other little ranchitos that are, like, I don't know, but anyways, that's where I'm from. When did I find out that I was an immigrant?
And that's so sad to say, but
it's crazy because, you know, when you're at an age, you know, okay, so I came in, obviously, you know, very small, so I was raised here. So all my life I thought, oh, I was born here, you know, I'm born here. But when I found out, I legit, so in my middle school, I joined band, and the only reason why I joined band was because they went to Disneyland for a trip. Like, I don't know if they played out there or I don't know what the case, but they just went out there. It was every year. I think it was like during the winter. Like, that was their trip. So I had a friend that was in band, and he was like, dude, you should come, you know, da da da. I was so excited, you guys do not have an idea. Like, I was so pumped up. Like, I was so excited when my friend told me that. Like, the teacher, the instructor, the band teacher was like, yeah, you know, like, we're excited to have you, and that. She was just giving me, like,
hyping it.
yeah, she was just pretty much hyping me. So, you know, when I get home and I tell my mom, right? And I tell my mom, I'm like, I had already told her that I was gonna join the band, but obviously I didn't tell her that that was the reason why, you know, because they were gonna go to Disneyland. So I was legit, I had snare drums and everything. So long story short, when it got to winter that year, you know, I told my mom, even maybe a month before, I was like, hey, you know, like, they're already asking, because they had asked, like, we had to, like, slips, permission slips, and get prepared for, like, tickets and stuff like that. And my mom's like, ¿pa dónde? And I was like, no, es que van a ir a Disneylandia, es en California, and this is and that. And she was like, ¿pa California, mijo? Tú no puedes ir pa California. And I was like, why? Like I'll go with them, like, you know, like, I'm gonna go, like, está bien. Van a ir maestras, van a ir papás, you know, just kind of say, like obviously, yeah, like, I didn't have that, you know, I didn't have a clue of what she actually meant at that point in time. And, you know, I was just like, no, sí voy a ir, yo quiero ir, and this and that, and, you know, I've been waiting for this moment, you know. Y es que me dice, no, mijo, tú no puedes ir, no, si te vas, no vas a volver. And I was like, I wasn't getting it, you know, like, middle school, I was naive, you know, like, my brain.
But still,
like,
you know, as like, you know, like, as a child, you know, that's not something that you think of or you know how to process, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's not what's on your mind at 13, 14 years,
right.
Any age, you know?
Now that I think about it, like, it was so sad. Like, at that point, I was just like, I think about it, I'm like, how, like, at 13, you know, 12 years old, like, I wasn't thinking about that, you know, I didn't know about that stuff. But anyways, you know, that's how I found out. My mom was telling me, what she was telling me, she was like crying, almost crying, like, legit, she was like tearing up, and you know, obviously she felt bad because, you know, here I am, a 13-year-old, and she's over here explaining to me, you know, like pretty much telling me like, you know, you can't do what your other friends are doing, and this is why. So that's when I first found out, and legit, like my life changed. Like it did a whole 360 after that. Like, because then I remember like even going to our computer class and whatnot, and like I even would search like immigrant. Like obviously I've heard about that word at that point in time, but I didn't know exactly what it meant, you know, like in details. And I legit like would read, and I was like, man, what the heck? Like, so what does this really mean for me? Like, what does it really mean? And now, you know,
growing up
20 years later, it's like throughout these years, like I'm like, dude, like I'm always thinking back to that moment where my mom was telling me, and I was like, dude, that's insane. Like,
you know, and you know, like Bernardo's just one person, you know, like there's millions of children, you know, and families that are probably going through the same thing that he was, and you know, here we are.
So the next question, when did you find out thoughts, feelings? Yep. Things I couldn't do. So obviously, you know, like I mentioned, you know, things like those, like going to trips, you know, even at that early age, you know, like a lot of friends would invite me to even go to California, just to go, you know, or hey, we're going to San Diego, or hey, we're going to my mom, or in Mexico, you know, a lot of people, like you're going in summer, like during the summer, you know, so, like me están invitando para ir a Mexico, and this is not, my mom's like, no puedes ir, and this and that. This is obviously like when I was younger, right? And now when I found out, you know, after she told me, you know, obviously I wouldn't even waste my time even asking her. You know, I would just come up, like, I swear I was such a good liar back then, like to my friends, because I had to come up with legit like a new excuse every year. It would come up, you know, it's like, all right, I have to bring up another lie because last year I used that lie, you know, like it was crazy. And like April said, you know, I'm not the only one that went through this, and the people that are actually watching and you guys are going through this process,
don't give up, you guys. You know, there's light at the end of the tunnel, and it's hard, and you know, we're here. Like I said, you know, from the get-go, like we're normal people, and you know, we're living it. So
the next question we put.
Wait, can I say? I feel like also like what you couldn't do, because again, you guys, me and Bernardo have been dating since high school. Bernardo couldn't get a job. Like,
oh yeah,
I could, you know, like when I turned 16, I got a job, and I've been working ever since I was 16 nonstop. He couldn't, you know, like, you know, when you're in high school, you do crazy stuff. A veces eres rebelde, you know, like you go out and you do things, and Bernardo kind of always had to like be extra careful, you know, like kind of live very, you know, on his toes. Like he had to live on his toes, you know. If I were to get in trouble, it was like a slap on the hand, you know. With Bernardo, it was different because it's like, oh my God, you know, like what if he does something and, you know, they go to his parent, you know. It was just always, it was like under like a microscope, like, you know, like no podías hacer nada because, you know, you couldn't be a kid, you know. As a kid, as a teenager, you do things that aren't always the best choices, you know. And
you're a teenager,
yeah, and that you learn, you live and learn. Honestly, you live and learn, yeah, from your mistakes. And I don't feel like you really were able to live, you know, 100%. You were able to do stuff, but I feel like in the back of your head, you may have been extra cautious. He couldn't get a driver's license, you guys. Bernardo didn't get a car till he was like, legit. We bought the car. Yeah, like when, what, 18? I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, like so pretty much, you know, to kind of get, you know, obviously my perspective.
Sorry, you guys. He's in his diaper because that's how he's comfy.
He had pants and they were suffocating his thighs. So yeah, you know, like I don't know, and this is perfect, you know, and I'm gonna bring this up because it's a perfect explanation of this whole process. But if you guys haven't watched the Living Undocumented on Netflix, and if you guys haven't watched that, I would 1000% recommend you guys to watch it. Just because they legit, every family that they interview
so different.
is just so different. And then there's family that you wouldn't
never
even expect. You know, it's like, it's not just only Mexicans. You know, it's like, it's people that are coming from obviously other countries.
India, from you know, like Vietnam, Russia, like Europe, everywhere around the world.
So it's just, you know, it's just not Mexicans. It's just, we're targeted. I feel like it's more of like, Mexican, just because this is the southern border. Like,
yeah, because we're right next to the border, and you guys know, how things are politically right now, which we really don't want to get into the topic of it because it's very controversial. But when you hear the word immigrant, I feel like right away you think of Mexicans
or a criminal.
You're things like that.
You're coming to another country where you don't belong and you don't deserve what I have.
And then we go back to Bernardo's situation. Bernardo was a child. He was a baby. When he came here, he had no say. He had no choice. Like he was brought here unwillingly, by his parents who, you cannot blame them because they came here for a better future for their kids, and, like that's the American dream, what everybody comes to the United States for, because this is the country where you could, move, like get an education, become somebody in life, but a lot of times when you're a child,
your dreams come true.
Yeah. So, you're a child, situations, again, we're not going to get into it politically, but, he had no say, and, he's here.
And then just to touch up on, again, the things I couldn't do, what April was saying is that, or explaining is very true, whenever we would go out, like, I would drink, teenager, I would drink, but it was to a point where I was like, I need to make sure that I'm still aware of what's going on. I wasn't one of those crazy teenagers where I would black out every house party, or even go to every house party, like I legit would have to. First of all, I would have to convince my mom, or not even if she wasn't convinced, because she was never convinced, because she knew of the situation and she knew if I would get myself into a situation like that, it was the end of this, the end of us. Just because, if I'm caught, I'm underage, I'm caught, it leads to my parents, and obviously, my parents just didn't want that situation, or trying to avoid the situation, obviously. So, like I was always pretty much tippy-toeing, stepping on eggshells, because I had to be careful. I legit, like, I couldn't get caught drinking underage. Oh my God, like. I just couldn't. I just couldn't, like, it was just, and then the reason why I brought up the Living Undocumented is because there's this family that where the daughter explains her process and her pretty much her feelings on how she was dealing with being an immigrant. And it was crazy because I got so, like, emotional, I legit, like, she explained it the best way.
To the T.
Yeah, like, and I would always tell April, like, when we were watching, I was like, dude, like, she could have not explained that any better. Like, and it hit me because obviously, I was going through it as well. But yeah, when did April find out, and how did she
If you would have told me, I'm just kidding. So obviously I found out in high school because of a little incident. So I found out in high school. Again, in high school I didn't really know what that meant to the T. I know what it meant, because my parents were immigrants. They migrated from Mexico, but my parents became US citizens. But they did cross illegally as well. But I don't know what their circumstances were, but I didn't understand the depth and
how serious
this was until we started going through the immigration process. So you guys, I was 17. He was 18 when we started dealing with immigration issues, okay? We barely knew how
Just think about that. Like, you're 18, right? You're so naive.
Okay, you guys, so it actually,
Died on us. Yep.
Okay, so we were talking about, you know, me being 17, Bernardo being 18 when we first started dealing with these issues, you guys. These are issues that I don't think,
or 17
yeah, a child, you know, yeah, we were already adults, but this was a lot, you know, like we were thinking of, is Bernardo gonna get deported? Is Bernardo gonna have court and not come back? Is Bernardo gonna get deported? Is Bernardo gonna go to court and not come out? You know, like that's what we were thinking. On top of that, we were thinking of, you know, how are we gonna pay for this? So Bernardo's parents helped us, you know, for a while, you know, but it's not just immigration. It's like he ended up getting DACA, which he'll talk about in a minute. But, you know, to get, you know, these applications in, Liam, shh, sorry guys. So you guys, to complete these applications, to have a lawyer go through your case, to every little thing to the T, si se te olvida esto, if you go to Mexico, you come back, you know, if you forget one little thing, you're screwed.
And not only that, but on top of that, you have people, you know, like saying like, dude, like, I heard if you do this, like, you're not gonna come back. Or, hey, like,
I'll do it for you, cheaper.
Yeah, like I know this person that went through it and didn't have to do all that. Or I went through this person and I know this guy that his process was like 3 months. And I'm like, dude, chill. Like, es que uno pues también, cada experiencia es diferente, you know?
Yeah.
It's like what we said earlier, you know?
And that was frustrating. That was so frustrating for us because no matter how much we told people, because people were like, Bernardo no arreglado, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you know, we had to deal with a whole other situation before we started dealing with immigration.
And again, just to kind of like, I mean, I got into a little bit of an issue. I was younger and I got into some trouble and I got arrested. And you know, when you get arrested, obviously, you know, they pull up your
status. If you're a minor, yeah, and if you're a minor, you just get sent back with your parents.
Yeah, you go back to your parents. But
small.
Unfortunately, I wasn't a minor.
He had just turned 18.
So I had to kind of face the consequences. Which he, literally.
You know, yeah, and you know, he did.
Yeah, we did, and that was the whole process. You know, it's like you have to go through. There's a criminal case first. You get that out of the way, and then you hop on immigration, because immigration won't even open or touch your file if you have criminal background.
No. Yeah, they will if you have criminal background, but an open case.
Open case, exactly, yeah. An open case, like, you know, they won't touch your file. Like, it'll sit somewhere and just won't get worked on. So, obviously, you know, there's fees upon fees upon fees.
You guys, when we say fees, we mean fees for fingerprints, fees for passport pictures 25,000 times, fees for going, you guys. Okay, after I had Liam, remember? You guys, me and Bernardo had an interview. So this is a cita that you go to prove that you're married for the right reasons. Obviously we were, because we're already together. You guys, I had Liam on August 13th, 2014 at 9:44 p.m. I got discharged from the hospital at 12 a.m. in the morning that same day because we had immigration court. You guys, we could not miss this immigration court, because if you miss it, they either have to reschedule it if they want to, if they don't, and that's just the way it is. So I had to tell my doctor, hey, you know, like, this is what's going on. I have to leave the hospital. TMI, I had stitches. I had a tear. You guys, I was walking.
I felt so bad. I felt so bad, like, dude.
I was walking like a turtle, you guys, with a newborn. We were with a newborn. It was just,
like,
it
¿qué más prueba querían,
you know what I mean? It just sucks because, you know, people don't understand, like, how bad the situation sucks. You know, like people always want to judge and say, you know, like come the right way, come the legal way. You guys, it's not just doing an application and yes, no. It's like, it's so much more to that, you guys. And that's why we want to bring awareness to this and talk about our situation and tell you guys about the documented series on Netflix, because that is real life, you guys. Like, this is what it is. You know, we're just two people. You know, I'm going through it because he's my husband, and that's what it was, you know, and that's that. And I feel like, sorry I'm getting so passionate, but you know, like, we are fine. It's finally done.
Yeah.
And I can't believe it.
So when did April find out and how did she feel? So yeah, you pretty much answered that in Michelle. So my first job, and again, this was, you know, I was 18, 19, you know.
No, not Care First. It was New Motion.
You know, I was so excited, you guys. Like, I legit, like, I have DACA, you know, and if the people that don't know what DACA is, it's just pretty much a application one submits. It's it's for students, right?
Yes,
it's for
students. You have to qualify for it.
Right, you have to qualify for it. So I qualified for DACA, and I was approved. Now, what that pretty much allows you to do as an immigrant, it provides you a work permit, right?
And so to be here legally.
Legally, you'll be here legally. Doesn't mean that you're safe and, you know, you can do whatever and go wild, but it just gives you temporarily status. You know,
temporary
it's
status.
Like you can temporarily stay here. You still have status. You're still pending to do.
That's just a quick fix, you guys.
Right. So, like, my life changed dramatically. I can't even talk right now. When I got that, because it was so emotional. Like I was dying to work, you guys. Like, keep in mind, I'm already 19 or 18 and a half. When did I get it? 18 and a half. Like, I have, perfect example, April was already working. She had 2-3 years already working, you know, and I'm barely starting. And then, you know, let alone all my friends, you know, the people I would hang around with, like, I would see them, like, you know, going to work, buying their little
and Bernardo
stuff,
would do what he could. Like, he would go to work on the weekends with his dad.
I would do what I had to do, and
yeah,
you know.
I mean, he was 18. You know, like when you're 18, you want to buy your own stuff. You don't want to be a burden to your mom. He would sell his clothes, buy them cheaper, sell them a little bit more. Just a lot of hustle.
Yeah, a little hustle here and there. But you know, my first job was at a wheelchair repair, if you want to call it, a little shop. So it was for like children and adults with disabilities. They would, people with disabilities. So they would make custom for their needs. Yeah, for their needs. Bath showers, like shower chairs, Hoyer lifts, right? You know, those electrical scooters, you name it. We would repair those and make it, you know, assemble it or whatever. So that was my first job, and I was there for quite a bit.
Yeah, and you guys, now we're gonna go. So he was there. Bernardo was working at that job, and I think I had just started the nursing program, or whenever I started the nursing program was in 2015-ish. Yeah, 15. Yeah. So I originally was able to start the nursing program in 2014. Right when I had Liam, my advisor told me I could start the program. But we had so much going on. We had just bought in a house, just a lot going on, and of course his his immigration case. So I took a year off because I also didn't want to feel too rushed. So I took a year off and I started school July or summer of 2015. So then Bernardo started working, and he was the sole provider for the household. You know, like he had to pay for groceries, for light, water, everything, you know. And again, you know, because I was going to school, my family has always been very supportive, and so has his family. So, you know, con lo que podían, like my parents would help me out, his parents would help us out. It was, you know, like you name it, little things that you didn't think that were gonna like catch up to you or even existed.
Yeah.
You know, like we were, you know, responsible enough to kind of pick and choose what took priority. So again, you guys, this is why it kind of held us back. His immigration case was because Bernardo was only making like yay amount of money, and we had almost that exact amount of bills. You know, like it was impossible to think of giving $1,000 a month, you know, for immigration.
For something that I'm gonna wait, you know, and find out later on, months and maybe even a year from now, rather than, you know, I have to pay the bill, you know, I have to pay a mortgage bill.
Because then we're not gonna have anywhere to sleep. We're not gonna have food to eat, a roof over our head. So it was just, you kind of had to pick and choose. So that is also a big part of why it took us so long, you guys.
Right.
So, and I had originally told Bernardo, after I get out of nursing school, you know, we'll focus on your immigration stuff, because obviously we'll have a second income and I'll be making, you know, money to kind of help, you know, hurry up the case. So that's what happened, you guys. And that's why this year Bernardo became a whole A U.S. resident. So that's pretty much that part of it, you guys. Yeah,
that's pretty much the whole immigration case. As far as like paperwork process and stuff like that.
So then, because Bernardo didn't come here with a U.S. passport, he came in here or any kind of visa, anything like that. Bernardo had what they call a castigo, or kind of like a slap in the hand saying, I don't know how you would explain it in
pardon?
English.
No.
You know, I think maybe it was like a pardon. I don't know.
But in Spanish, a perdón. I know y'all know what that is.
Yeah. So Bernardo had to go to the
I had to step outside of the United States to my region, right? Is that what you call it? Region,
to his place of birth.
Right.
Because there is a U.S. Consulate there. So there is, again, you guys, every situation is different. But again, because Bernardo didn't enter with a visa or U.S. passport, I'm sorry. I don't know if that's the same thing. Visa or passport, he had to go back to his home country and pedir a perdón. So this was just recent, you guys. This was just recent, So that way, Bernardo could either get approved or not approved. Bernardo has me as his sponsor, so I don't know if I'm your sponsor. I'm the petitioner. So, you know, he has his children and his wife here, and he pretty much had to go to Juarez, which he went with my dad for. I know some people that did know.
I'm so glad and thankful for my suegro going out there when he really didn't have to, but you know, muchas gracias al suegro. Yeah,
so we weren't gonna let him go by himself, and I know, you know, I heard through the little grapevine or whatever, like, why didn't I go with him? But you know, Liam's in school, you guys. For Liam to be in a hotel room for a week, me and the kids, you know, that was kind of selfish.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, you know, the way I thought about it is, you know, April was going to work. You know, April was working,
and I was working too.
And you know, she just couldn't get those days off either,
and then to top it off, you guys, this is you know, you wait for a cita. So you wait for an appointment from the USCIS, or is it?
Yeah, for the
National Visa Center. They send you an appointment. This appointment doesn't tell you when it's coming. It just comes, and either you make it or you don't.
Yeah, it doesn't give you like a heads up, like, hey,
no,
your appointment's gonna be 3 months from today. It's legit. It was legit, like what, 3 weeks or 2 weeks?
Well, it did
3
take.
weeks?
It was like, I don't remember.
No, like, yeah, like, well, I got it, and it was like, your appointment is in 3 weeks.
Yeah, so he got the notice in the mail, and it was literally in 3 weeks.
But we did wait for like a year.
No, like 6 months.
Like 7 months. Like 7 months.
Less than a year, for sure.
We waited for that appointment. And obviously, you know, in the back of our head, we knew that was gonna come, you know? It's just that.
You can't really plan. Like, I couldn't tell my employer, you know, I'm sure I could have figured.
7 months or 3 months.
I'm sure, you know, if worse came to worse, I could have figured something else out, you know, but you guys, it came so fast. And, you know, Bernardo had such amount of time saved up for like PTO sick and stuff.
We were preparing for
yeah, so he was preparing for that, you know, and somebody has to work, you know what I mean? Like it is what it is. We live in the United States, that's what happens. So yeah, he went to Juarez, and
it was I don't know, it was like a bittersweet for me. Like obviously, you know, it was like I'm going to Mexico, you know, I'm finally you know, gonna cross the border. Like it was like you know, it was like a dream come true to me, you know, because obviously, you know, I haven't been in Mexico in like
forever
since I was born. So I wanted to go really, really bad, and obviously, you know, whatever. But you know, it was bittersweet. The reason why I'm saying that is because I finally crossed the border. I'm finally in Mexico, but yet, you know, it's like
you still
I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna stay here. I don't know if, you know, oh, you're approved, but you have to wait a month to
go back.
Go, you know, or whatever the case may be. You just weren't know. You didn't know. My lawyer did a great job. The paralegals did a great job on preparing me and kind of giving me advice and letting me know, like, hey, this might be what happens to you, and this or this route. Like you have this, like these options, pretty much. So, you know, it was really hard. Just to think about that, you know, and going to sleep and just kind of like doubting, like,
are they gonna approve you? You know, because that's the purpose of this appointment. You know, they're gonna interview you, they're gonna ask you questions.
Go
you know,
through the paperwork, all your paperwork that you have
stacked up. You guys, we have so much pictures, we have so many documents, we have copies of copies. You know, they have all of that, but they want to hear it from you. And these individuals don't know you, but they're asking you questions, and you're like, they have the ability to either say, okay, yeah, you're approved, or
it's in their hands.
Yeah.
Or maybe they already, maybe, I don't know, maybe they go through some little process, and obviously it's not up to that representative that you're talking to, but it's like they legit have it's in their hands. So they can decline or they can approve.
And when we say decline, it could be like, you can never go back to the United States. Yeah. Or you can go to the United States in 2 years, 5 years, 3 years, 10 years. And Bernardo was telling me, he was like, I was so scared because people that were next to him, you guys, it was little like booths that were next to him. Like MVD, like when you go and you know, go and whatever, renew your plates or whatever it is, you see those little windows? Like it legit was like that. There was no privacy. You were, to top it off, there was a long wait. Like you had to, I was there just in the interview 5 hours. Legit, waiting in between, call here, okay, I'll talk to her for 5-10 minutes, wait another hour, talk to this person. So there was no privacy in all, and like, just imagine, you're so nervous, you don't know what the hell's gonna go, you know, pop off, and you're hearing other people getting denied for certain reasons. Like crying, you guys.
Coming out in tears, crying. Like, you know, like, in my head I was like, dude, these people are so cruel. Like, why couldn't they just make it private? Like, why are they, like, I just felt like they were doing it on purpose. Like, I just felt like the whole waiting and then them doing that, like, I just felt it was just intentional, because I don't know, like it just felt so wrong to me. But anyways, you know, like just imagine, you know, your thoughts and your feelings and all that, like
just not knowing
what's running through your mind.
What's gonna happen.
And you know, like as far as that process, you know, it's like when we got to Juarez, thankfully we got a hotel that was really close, which I would totally recommend for all you guys that are going through this process and waiting for your appointment, your interview. I would recommend to get a hotel nearby, just because
everything is
the consulate, legit, they have 3 offices, and that's all you're gonna go through. Like, one day is gonna be your physical, blood work, another day is gonna be
and action. Okay, you guys. So we had cut off at the part where Bernardo was talking about that it's like a 3-part process.
Yeah, so the process, so again, it was physical, psychological, immunization, and like a drug test where they draw blood. That was one day. Did I say fingerprints? No, right?
I don't know.
The second day is your fingerprints solely and separate. Is fingerprints. The third day is your interview. Now, throughout these 3 days, you'll be receiving paperwork. Now that paperwork is going to be sealed in an envelope that you cannot open. Like they will say this over and over and over again. The envelope even says "do not open" in bold black letters.
So don't open it.
Don't be curious in opening the envelope, because you will pretty much F yourself up and have to reapply and start the whole process all over. Wait another 7-8 months, however long you waited to get the appointment. So, with those 3 days, obviously, you're just kind of like preparing yourself. I don't know, I guess for the worst.
Yeah, because you guys, like we had mentioned, when you're over there, okay, so the interview is ya la última cosa, so after you get your interview done, con el favor de Dios, if it's approved, you wait 3 to 10 business days.
They say 3 to 10. They give you a little slip that says you have to wait 3 to 10 business days for your visa to be delivered where you went to get your fingerprints. So that's where they will deliver it. They won't deliver it at the consulate or consulate, which I thought that, I was like, oh, well, we're gonna go here, but no, they deliver it it gets delivered there at the fingerprints, and you just literally go up and pick it up and, verify your demographics and you're good.
Then that's what you show Border Patrol when you are crossing over.
Yes.
So, Bernardo got his, so se fue, he left on a Monday, right?
Yeah.
He left on a Monday just to make sure that they get there on time, they're not rushed or anything like that. And then Tuesday he had one appointment, which was the...
It was the physical, like the whole...
Physical, 1 second.
And then, so it was Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, those 3 days that I was telling you guys earlier about doing appointments. Friday was kind of like hopefully we get it,
Because some people were telling them that, that, there is times where they get them a little earlier. But Bernardo actually got it the following Tuesday because the weekend doesn't count as a business day, of course, to get the documents. So he got his stuff on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday. So he was literally in Mexico for about a week. So literally the moment that he got the text.
It was an email. So they'll email you. And so obviously, you gotta make sure that your email is updated and whatnot. So they'll email you. And what did you do when I first told you? When I first told you, babe.
Guys, my heart, sorry guys, I made him carrot. My heart dropped because, every day that he was in Mexico, I was just nervous because I'm the kind of person that I prepare for the worst. So I was just kind of like, oh my god, dude, it's freaking finally over. This is what we have been waiting for a good portion of our life. So.
But it's we've been waiting this long, but again, we don't know if it's gonna get approved or not. So.
After it was approved, we were. No, it was even worse when Bernardo had the cita.
Yeah.
When he had the cita, that's when I was like, oh my god, what if he says something wrong? What if he screws something up? I was just thinking the worst. A lot of things run through your mind, It was just crazy. So, yeah, I was just like, holy,
when I first, so they'll tell you at the interview, they'll tell you if you're approved or not. So, at the interview, they pretty much told me and again, they don't ask you much. They pretty much asked me, hey, again, to reconfirm all the information that I gave. Sorry guys, he's being a little. To reconfirm all the information that I've told previously. the other 2 days, right? So, pretty much told them, you know, she just pretty much asked me like, you know, how old are you? Where are you born? Where do you live? What's your address? Did you go to school? What school did you go to? Who's your petitioner? How long have you guys been married? Does she work? What does she do? Did she go to school? Yeah, you know, and stuff like that. It was little stuff like that that she asked me until the end. She was like, oh, have you ever been committed of a crime? Yes, unfortunately. Oh, okay, can you briefly explain what happened? I explained. Okay, was the criminal case, like, was it dismissed? Yes, it was dismissed. I show a paper, you know, a court document that shows it was dismissed.
I love that you have a carrot in your hand.
Actually, yeah, I don't know, Liam or Hyde. It was dismissed, and then after that, she literally just like, okay, give me a second. She went, and then, you know, obviously, like, my heart is pounding. Like, after she said, give me a second, all you can think about is like, dude, what did I say wrong? What is she going to be re-verify? Like, shit, like, God, you know, like, I'm screwed. Like, I could cry right now. But she legit just came back, and she was like, she sat down, got a packet ready, stapled it, and she was like, congratulations, you were approved. Dude, like, my heart dropped. I don't even know. I think my eyes were teary. Like, I had teary eyes. Like, I was so, like, there were so many emotions going through me. Again, 8+ years going through this whole process. Like,
I mean, his entire life.
And then, yeah, my entire life, I was
being considered illegal.
Like, you guys don't understand. Like, there was so much weight lifted off my shoulders. April can tell you, I'm sure she felt the same way. Like, it was just a very, very, like, this
emotional.
Yeah, it was just very emotional. My way out of the consulate, and you know, the consulate where you had the interview, like, shit, I think I was even crying my way walk, like, you know, happy, like, it was just joy.
Tears of joy.
Tears of joy, like. I was just so happy, you guys just.
We were all, everybody, like, his parents, you know, like, it just, you know, pobrecitos, like, it sucks, you know, knowing that your child.
Yeah, you know, my mom and my parents, I'm sure, felt maybe some kind of guilt,
you know, because he wasn't born here, but.
I was never that person, though, you know, I was never that person, too. It was because of you. You should have waited 2 more months.
Because they didn't know, you know, bueno, you know, sería, you know, like, I'm sure this applies to everybody, you know, that could relate, you know, like, you don't know. If you knew, 100% you would do things the right way, but it's just, that's not how it is. That's not how life is, you know, and, you know, thank God, you know, we went through this to really appreciate.
And, you know, again, it was just a long,
it was a very long journey, roller coaster, and we appreciate all of our friends,
all of
our family that were always there for us, who supported us through the good, the bad, the ugly, you know, that have known Bernardo since he started this journey, you know, and it's just, we're forever grateful, and we hope that, you know, you all, can you just silence it? You all find it in your heart to just educate yourself and look deeper and dig deeper into situations like these before you judge somebody, you know, because like we were saying, you know, a lot of these kids and people that are here illegally didn't make these decisions
on their own.
And
or even had a clue of, you know, they just, I don't know, they just didn't. Yeah,
or, you know, they don't know what the right way is, or, you know, and that may sound kind of like absurd. They don't know what the right way is, but you guys, like we were saying, like, we didn't, like, you know, there's every single situation is so different. You can line up 10 people with the same situation and somehow it's different.
Yeah.
So the case is gonna turn out differently. You know, our lawyer was really good, and she, you know, broke everything down, and, you know, we had a lot of trust in her. She was referred to us, and she promised what she was, you know, she did what she promised.
A lawyer to promise you something,
I guarantee you will be here.
You'll never have that, you know. So, you know, obviously she was our lawyer from the get-go, from criminal to the end of immigration. So you can imagine, I mean, 8 years of just knowing me, knowing my family, knowing April, like knowing our situation, like
she pretty much saw us grow up.
yeah, like she just was there, and you know, and when it got tough, she promised us, you know, she was like, you know what, this is just another hurdle that you guys just have to jump over, and you know, you guys are gonna make it. Like, I promise you, you're gonna get out
You
of
know,
this,
she gave us the assurance that we needed. You know, in a situation like this, you can't
especially
risk
when you step
anything.
out,
You know,
you step out. Like, I feel like everyone's so scared about of that.
Yeah, because there is situations if you step out and then you know, you do have to stay a certain time in Mexico. Like,
yeah,
if Bernardo at one point, you guys, like, this is a little personal, but you know, at one point Bernardo told me that he had to be in Mexico for 120 days. I read that. Yeah, I understood the text message differently from, you know, him and the lawyer were talking, and I understood the message, you know, obviously not the correct way, but I was like, you have to be in Mexico for 120 days, you guys. How, like, I was at my best friend's bachelorette trip, you know. I thought I was dying inside, because what am I gonna do? You know, like, yeah, I have a good job, you know, I have a lot of help, but I don't have the one person that helps me do everything, you know, like my kid's dad, Sam. You know, like, my kids, like, they need their dad, like, what, you know, even if me and Bernardo weren't together, you know, like, I would never, that's one thing that I would never take away from my children, is their father. And, you know, for me just to think that somebody else could just pull him, take him without conscious, you know, emotional, like, aspects or connections, you know, like that breaks my heart. And, you know, we're just us, you know, we're adults now, you know, and it makes me think of the children that are separated from their families, that are alone, that are scared, that they don't even speak the, you know, English. Yeah, the language, you know, that's sad. That's what's going on in the world, and it's unfortunate. And, you know, like we said, we hope we bring awareness, and we hope that, you know, hopefully, God willingly, things change and people learn to be compassionate and treat others with respect, because, you know, the United States is a country of migrants, and, you know, and yeah, you know, we're the best country, you know, there is. You know, we have everything, and we're so fortunate. But, you know, we need to remember that we're human, and we got to treat people with respect, and it doesn't matter what color you are. You know, we all have the same kind of heart. We have the same characteristics. You know, we have eyeballs, we have hair, we have hands.
It's just, we're human, you know. It's like,
we bleed the same blood, you know. So we just hope, you know, you guys understand, and we're glad that we're able to share it with you guys, and we have somewhat of a platform. We don't have millions of followers, but we know that people follow us because they enjoy watching.
They're genuinely,
you know,
like, they care, you know, they care
about what we do, and what we share, yeah.
And
so
we love y'all for that.
And, you know, I think a lot of that comes from that we're just real, we're just genuine, it is what it is. Like, our video here, you guys heard our kids crying like 3/4 of it, and that's just real life, you know. That's how it is. We don't have a nanny that's gonna come up and, you know, put him to sleep. Like, right now I am breastfeeding my kid as we speak. And I was
but yeah, guys, so, you know, like we said, this video was just definitely just, you know, give you guys a little insight of our process and
his
and
perspective, my perspective.
Yes, and you know, of course, now actually, and then after I came back, you know, like, I was able to obviously submit for my residency card, and thankfully, you know, that came in. So best believe
he's gonna be a U.S. citizen in 3 years.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, I'm trying to get that out of the way ASAP. You know,
and then just really quick, guys, I know we forgot to talk about this, but you know, Bernardo was going to college at one point, and he stopped going to school because that was before
that was before DACA.
They did where they changed the tuition
like
pricing
the in-state and out-of-state
tuition. Bernardo was paying out-of-state tuition, you guys. So at the moment, I was going to school too.
It was just ridiculous. Like, the amount.
I was paying like less than $1,000 for full-time classes at community college, and Bernardo was paying like almost $3,000 for like 2-3 classes.
2 credits.
Yeah. So, you know, like we couldn't afford that. And that's a big part of why he swerved career choices. And, you know, even with like real estate, at one point Bernardo was doing it, which I think he's gonna do it again. But, you know, there's a lot of things that kind of stopped him from doing what he wanted to do because of the situation he was in.
Just if you feel like you're, you know, you're not at your fullest potential, I feel like, you know, and I mean, you know, it's like sometimes it's just not the right time to do it, you know. But again, you know, my residency card came in, and we actually already planned on going to Sinaloa.
Yeah, so hopefully con el favor de Dios we go during December, and yeah, we're so excited.
Definitely gonna vlog that though.
Yeah, we're so excited, you guys. We're so excited that we finally got to sit down and sit down and talk to you guys about this topic, because we were super excited to let you guys know. We'll see if we could insert some of the clips that Bernardo tried or filmed while he was in Mexico, so you guys could kind of like take a little peek of it. Yeah. But yeah, you guys, we appreciate you with everything that we have, and I just want to tell you guys to please you know, be nice, be kind to one another, treat each other as you wish to be treated. You spread positivity, you know, and hopefully that positivity will, you know, continue to double. So we appreciate you guys so very much. And if you guys have any questions, please let us know, because I know this is a very, 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 very important topic.
Yeah, very important topic.
And
I
we
know
may
it's
have
pretty,
missed a lot of stuff.
Like we try to make it a short video. I know it's not going to be a short video. It's pretty long, but this was the shortest we could do. And I know there's a lot more of information. If you guys have any questions, feel free. We can do another video. Like, yeah, comment down below if you want another video on specific topics, like what that process was like. Like we'll be more than happy to sit down and you know, talk about it. And or even if we don't make a video, you know, like I can answer your questions, you know, like if you follow us on social media, like hit us up, we'll answer all your questions. If you have any comments down below, like I'll answer that, you know. Comment down below. I'll reply to those comments.
Police. Okay. So yeah, guys,
yes,
we appreciate your views, your support. Thank you guys, and
we'll see you guys on the next video.
El Residente.
What's going on, you guys? Let me touch the screen real quick so I can focus. So today is damn, ando bien norteado yo con los días ahorita over here. So today is Wednesday, and we're chilling in the hotel. Today is my fingerprints appointment. I have it at 3:50. It's currently it's about to be 2 here in Juarez, so it's like an hour ahead of Arizona. And I was just gonna show you guys the hotel, so you guys can kind of have an idea of where we've been kind of chilling. So this is my bed, this is the suegro's bed. He's showering right now. Got a little TV, got a little closet in here that I fold my, I don't know about you guys, but I like to hang my stuff every single time me and April go to a hotel or even, you know, just anywhere. I hate having my clothes in the briefcases because they're too wrinkly, and I don't know, I'm too anal about that. I like my stuff wrinkle free. This is our view. $1 million view right here. Puro roof. No, this is like the little entranceway. We're only on the 2nd floor. I think it's like 4 floors. But yeah, this is it. This is our little hotel. This is our home for right now. Can't really show you guys the restroom because my suegro's in it, but this is it. So I'm gonna try to vlog a little bit later tonight, or when we come back. I'm gonna try to vlog when we're there. If I can, I can. But once we come back, we'll vlog a little bit, tell you guys how it went. See you later.
Un edificio ahí donde tiene que bajar. Ay, Diosito, mira, ahí vamos ya más o menos. Ya nomás checando estos papeles y vi a la Virgen María. Sí, ¿verdad? Se ve que está en una empacada en una camilla. Si acaso dicen algo, no hay que hacer. Cuando dijo el security allá, no hice papel en
Ya
nadie.
chingamos, ya aquí estáis. Welcome to the United States.
Oiga, no hice nada de... No, aquí va...